The Mafia boss froze the moment he saw her on the dance floor. His maid, his peace, his weakness, dancing with another man. "This place is not for you," he growled, jealousy burning through every inch of him. But what he did next shocked everyone in the club, and even more when he discovered the stranger she was dancing with was her brother. The second Pietro Conti saw her, the music stopped making sense. He stood on the upper balcony of the nightclub, tall, broad, dressed in a black button-down and dark slacks, looking down at the packed dance floor. Neon lights flashed against his sharp jaw and cold expression, but nothing about him looked distracted. His attention was locked on one point, one person, Lily Parker, his maid, his routine, his quietness after long days, the woman he tried not to want, and she was dancing in the middle of a crowd as if she belonged to this world. Her black dress hugged her body in a way Pietro had never seen inside his penthouse. Her hair framed her face, her skin glowing under the lights. She laughed at something the man next to her said, and Pietro watched that man place a hand on her waist. Everything inside Pietro stopped. His bodyguards continued talking, but he didn't hear a word. His eyes narrowed, his chest tightened, and something hot and possessive rose inside him with a speed that startled even him. She was with a man. She came here dressed like that. She came here without telling him. He didn't have the right to expect anything from her. He knew that. But knowing didn't change the way jealousy surged through him like a punch. "Boss, they're waiting for you in the VIP room," one of his men said. Pietro didn't answer. He was already walking down the stairs. The club was packed, bodies moving, lights strobing, bass shaking the floor. Yet the crowd parted without a word as Pietro crossed the dance floor, his presence unmistakable even in a place full of loud music and alcohol. People recognized him. People moved out of his way, but Lily didn't see him coming. She was still dancing, still laughing, still letting that man hold her like he had any right to touch her. Pietro reached them in 3 long steps, his hand closing around Lily's wrist before he even realized he'd done it. She gasped and turned, eyes widening. "Pietro?" she breathed, shocked. "What are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" he repeated, voice low and angry. "What are you doing here dressed like that?" The man beside her stepped forward. Pietro's bodyguards tensed. Pietro didn't care about any of them. He was focused only on Lily's face, her flushed cheeks, her chest rising fast from dancing. "This place is not for you," Pietro said. Every word was tight, jealous, and impossible to hide. "You don't belong here with strangers putting their hands on you." Lily pulled her wrist from his grip, her chin lifting. "Excuse me, I'm off work. I can go wherever I want. You think this is safe? You think I'm going to let you stay here with people you don't even—" "Let me?" she snapped. "You're not my father, or my boyfriend." That last word hit him harder than the music. People around them began to notice the tension. Phones came out. Someone whispered Pietro's name in surprise. The lights flashed again, and suddenly he felt exposed, as if the entire room was watching him lose control over a woman who had never been his. The man next to Lily stepped between them. "Back off," he said firmly. Pietro's jaw clenched. "Don't touch her again." "Why? She's my—" Lily stepped forward fast. "He's my brother," she said loudly. The entire world froze. Pietro stared at the man, stared at Lily, looked at her again. "Your brother?" he repeated, his face losing all color. People who had been filming lowered their phones a little, now confused. Some laughed quietly. Pietro felt heat rise in his neck, humiliation, shock, jealousy mixing into something sharp and painful. Jake Parker, Lily's brother, looked Pietro up and down, unimpressed. "You really thought I was her boyfriend?" Jake asked. Pietro didn't answer. He couldn't. Lily crossed her arms. "You made a scene in front of everyone. Again." Pietro opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He felt the eyes on him, the whispers, the judgment. Pietro Conti never felt foolish in public. Never. But tonight he did, and the embarrassment burned hotter than his jealousy. "Lily," he tried, quieter now. "I didn't know. I thought—" You didn't ask, she said sharply. You just assumed, like always. Jake placed a hand on Lily's shoulder. Pietro didn't miss the protective way he did it. And Pietro, for the first time in years, felt completely out of place. Lily turned away from him. I'm going home, she said. I work in the morning. I don't want any drama at my job tomorrow. Lily. No, she cut him off. You don't get to act like this outside work. I deserve a life, Pietro, a normal one, with friends, with family, without you storming in like you own every part of it. The words hit harder than she intended. Pietro's throat tightened. His pride tried to speak, but nothing came. He watched her walk away with Jake, her dress catching the light, her hair swaying with each step. His bodyguards waited beside him. One of them leaned close and whispered, Boss, people filmed everything. Pietro closed his eyes for a second. Of course they had. Of course his worst moment would be all over the internet by morning. He took a slow breath, forcing his expression to return to something neutral, though his chest still felt tight. Find every video, Pietro said. Take them down. All of them. Yes, sir. He didn't look back toward the exit where Lily had disappeared, but the ache in his chest only grew. Pietro Conti, a man feared across the city, had just made a public fool of himself because of jealousy over his own maid, a woman who didn't owe him anything, who had every right to walk away from him forever. He left the club with heavy steps, the air cold against his heated skin. Outside, one of his men opened the car door for him. Pietro paused before entering, staring at the ground, swallowing the pride he had built his entire life on. Tomorrow, she would walk into his penthouse for work, and she would look at him differently. She would remember tonight. She would remember the jealousy, the humiliation, the way he grabbed her wrist, the way he shouted at her, the way he almost hit her brother. Pietro sat in the car, leaned his head back, and closed his eyes. He whispered to himself, I fix this tomorrow. Whatever it takes. The car door shut. The city lights passed by the windows as the car drove away, but Pietro didn't see any of them. He saw only Lily, her eyes, her hurt, her disappointment, and the knowledge that he had crossed a line he could never cross again. But could he fix it? Or had he just ruined the one thing he never meant to ruin? Lily stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror and almost did not recognize herself. Dark circles under her eyes, a thin line of tension around her mouth. Her hair was tied back in a simple ponytail, nothing like the styled waves from the night before. She had barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Pietro in the middle of the nightclub. His hand on her wrist, his angry face. The way people watched, recorded, laughed. She splashed cold water on her face and forced a slow breath. You need this job, she whispered to herself. You go. You do your work. You set boundaries. That's it. No matter what happened, she was not going to cry in front of him. She put on her simple uniform, a fitted black dress with short sleeves and an apron around her waist, modest and neat. She grabbed her bag, locked the door of her small apartment, and stepped into the chilly morning. The city was awake. Cars passed. People hurried. No one knew that the man whose name ran through the underworld had shouted at her in a crowded club. No one knew she worked in his penthouse. No one knew that. For a few seconds last night, his jealousy had felt sharp enough to cut away the ground under her feet. She took the train as usual. She held the pole, stared at the floor, and tried not to think about what waited at the top of that private elevator. Would he pretend nothing happened? Would he fire her? Would he say she was out of line? By the time she reached his building, her stomach was tight. The marble lobby was quiet. The security guard at the desk gave her a quick nod. Morning, Lily, he said. Morning, she answered. She swiped her badge and walked to the private elevator that went straight up to Pietro Conti's penthouse. The doors closed and soft music played in the background. She pressed her lips together, watching the numbers climb. 19, 20, 21. She adjusted her apron with nervous fingers. When the doors slid open, the familiar space of the penthouse greeted her. High ceilings, floor-to-ceiling windows with a view of the city. Clean lines, neutral colors, expensive furniture arranged in a way that looked effortless. Usually the place made her feel calm, safe. Tonight, it felt like a test. A few other staff members were already there, moving quietly. "Hey, Lily," one of the housekeepers whispered. "Rough night." She forced a little smile. "You have no idea." They exchanged a look that said enough. Lily headed straight to the kitchen. She tied her apron tighter and began her routine, checking the fridge, taking out ingredients, filling the large coffee machine with fresh beans. Her hands moved automatically. Eggs, bread, fresh fruit, bacon, orange juice. Her mind was not automatic at all. She kept hearing his voice from the club. "This place is not for you. You don't belong here dressed like that." Her jaw tensed. She heard footsteps before she saw him. The movement in the hallway changed. Conversations dropped to whispers. The house seemed to register his presence in a quiet way. Pietro Conti was awake. Lily's heart sped up. She kept her back to the doorway and focused on the pan. She would be professional. She would be calm. She would not bring up last night. If he wanted to talk, he could come to her. "Lily," his voice came from the doorway. She froze. Slowly, she turned around. Pietro stood there in dark slacks and a white dress shirt, sleeves rolled up to his forearms. No tie, top button undone. His hair was slightly messy, as if he had run his hand through it several times. His eyes were tired. He looked at her like she was the only person in the room. "Good morning, Mr. Conti," she said, tone formal. He flinched just a little at the title. "I need to talk to you," he said. His voice was lower than usual, less cold. "In my office." Her fingers tightened around the spatula. "I have breakfast to finish." "I already told Rosa to handle it," he said. "Please." She didn't like that word coming from him. Please. It cut through her anger and touched something she wasn't ready to admit. Lily glanced at the older cook, who gave her a quick nod. "Go," Rosa whispered. "I've got this." Lily wiped her hands on a towel and followed Pietro down the hall. Each step echoed inside her chest. Her eyes focused on the back of his shirt, on the tense line of his shoulders. He opened the door to his office and stood aside so she could enter first. She stepped in. The office was spacious, but not overwhelming. A large desk, shelves with files and a few personal objects, a bar cart in the corner, a leather couch along one wall. Pietro closed the door behind them. Lily stayed near the middle of the room, arms crossed over her chest, trying to protect herself from whatever was coming. "If you're going to fire me," she said before he could start, "just say it quickly. I don't want a long speech." His eyes widened slightly. "Fire you?" he repeated. "That is the last thing I want to do." "Are you sure?" she shot back. "Because yesterday it looked like you hated the idea of me breathing in the same building as anyone else." He inhaled slowly. "You're right," he said. That was not the answer she expected. She blinked. "What?" "You're right," he repeated. "About last night. About how I acted. About everything you said." She stared at him in disbelief. "I lost control," he said. "I made assumptions that were not mine to make. I spoke to you in a way that was disrespectful and cruel." The word seemed hard for him to say. "I embarrassed you. I embarrassed myself. And I humiliated your brother, who did nothing wrong." She swallowed. He held her gaze, not hiding, not dodging. "I came here to work," she said, voice softer but still guarded. "Not to be dragged through a club like I'm someone you own." He closed his eyes for a second. "I know." Silence stretched between them, thick but not empty. "I'm sorry, Lily," he said. She almost asked him to repeat it. She had never heard those words from him before. Not to anyone. "I'm not good at this," he went on, apologizing, admitting I was wrong. "But last night I crossed a line. You didn't deserve that." His hands were loose at his sides, not clenched like they usually were when something irritated him. He looked human, not the untouchable Mafia boss the city whispered about, just a man who knew he had gone too far. Lily's anger did not vanish, but it shifted. "You didn't just humiliate me," she said slowly. "There were people filming. My brother saw the way you grabbed me. Everyone saw how you spoke to me. That doesn't disappear in one morning because you say you're sorry." He nodded. "I know. That's why I already started fixing it." She frowned. "Fixing what?" "The videos," he said. "My people are taking them down. Any account that posted the scene will receive a visit or a call or an offer they will not refuse. It may take time, but I won't stop until every video is gone." She stared. "You're serious?" she asked. "Yes." She pressed her lips together, trying not to show how much that effort meant to her. "This is not about my reputation," he added. "It's about yours. You work here. I don't want anyone turning your name into some joke online because of my stupidity." Her eyes burned for a second, but she blinked it away. "Why do you care so much?" she asked. "I'm your maid." His jaw flexed. "You're not just my maid," he said, voice low. Her heart skipped once. He took a step closer, careful, slow, as if he didn't want to corner her. "You are the person who keeps this place running," he said. "You are the first face I see most mornings, and the last one before I shut my eyes at night. You know how I take my coffee without me telling you. You notice when I'm 10 minutes late, and you save my dinner so it doesn't get cold. You turn off the lights when I fall asleep on the couch with my files open. You listen when I say nothing." He swallowed. "So no," he said. "You are not just my maid." Her chest tightened. She stepped back half a step, needing space from the intensity in his eyes. "You still don't get to control what I do outside work," she said, even though her voice was softer now. "I decide where I go. I decide what I wear. You had no right to talk to me like that." "I know," he said again. "That's why I'm standing here now, not as your boss, as a man who knows he hurt you and is asking for a chance to make it right." His honesty was disarming. Lily let her arms drop slowly. "I felt so small last night," she admitted, surprising herself with the confession. "You walked in, and it was like everything about my night, everything about my life, suddenly belonged to you. People stared at me like I had done something wrong just for dancing, for smiling, for being a woman in a dress." A flicker of pain crossed his face. "I never wanted to make you feel small," he said. "I only saw red. I saw some man's hands on you and my mind stopped working." "Jake is my brother," she reminded him. "Yes," he said, "and he was right to stand between us." She remembered the moment Pietro almost hit Jake, the tension in his shoulders, the fury in his eyes. It made her stomach twist a little to replay it. "He thought I was your boyfriend," Jake had told her later, half amused, half annoyed. "That guy is crazy about you." She pushed that thought away. "There is a line," she said, "between caring and controlling. What you did last night crossed that line." "I know," he said quietly. His shoulders lowered slightly, as if he was putting down something heavy. "What do you want from me, Lily?" he asked. "Tell me. If you want to leave this job, I'll understand. I'll make sure you get a recommendation, help you find another place, another apartment, anything." She stared at him, startled. "Why?" she asked. "Because I'm not going to keep you here if you feel unsafe around me," he said. "I refuse to be the reason you're afraid to walk into your own workplace." Her throat tightened again, this time for a different reason. She thought about her rent, about her brother's occasional jobs, about how this job gave her stability she had never had before. She thought about the way Pietro had looked at her in the kitchen when she brought him late-night tea, the way his eyes softened when she laughed, the way he always made sure she was driven home safely when she stayed late. "I don't want to leave," she said finally. His eyes flicked up to hers fast. "You don't?" "No," she said. "But I need clear boundaries. I need to know that you understand that my life belongs to me. My body belongs to me. My nights off belong to me. You can't show up in a club and pull me around like you bought every hour of my existence." He nodded slowly. "Then that's what we do," he said. "We create boundaries. It sounded strange coming from him. Pietro Conti, talking about boundaries. "I will never touch you like that again without your permission," he said. "I will never speak to you that way in public again, or in private. If I have a problem, I'll talk to you. Not shout at you like a drunk idiot in front of strangers." Heat crawled up her neck. "You weren't drunk," she said. "You were jealous." His mouth tightened. "Yes," he admitted. "I was." The word hung in the air between them. "I had no right to feel like you owed me an explanation about who you were dancing with," he said. "But I felt it anyway. I saw you smiling at him and it hurt." Her chest warmed in an uncomfortable way. "You barely look at me some days," she said. "You walk past me like I'm part of the furniture, and then suddenly you act like you're mine," he finished, voice barely above a whisper. She swallowed. Her pulse pounded under her skin. "I am not yours," she said quietly. "Not unless I choose to be." Something shifted in his gaze. "Then I'll give you reasons to choose me," he said. The words came out low and steady, not arrogant, not demanding, just a promise. Lily's breath caught. He took another step back from her, as if giving her physical space to match the boundaries she had just set. "That starts with this apology," he said, "and with actions that match it." "What actions?" she asked, wary but curious. "You'll see," he said, "starting today." Her brows drew together. "I'm not asking you to trust me right now," he added. "I know I lost that. I'm asking for the chance to earn it back." She looked at him for a long moment. She saw the dark circles under his eyes, the tension in his jaw, the sincerity in his expression. For a man used to control and power, this level of humility did not come easily. She could see that. "Fine," she said slowly. "You get one chance." A brief, almost relieved breath left his chest. "One," she repeated. "You blow it, I'm done. I don't care how much you pay me. I'll walk out and I won't look back." "I understand," he said. "You deserve that." Silence settled between them again, but this time it was less sharp. "I should go help with breakfast," she said. "People will start waking up." He nodded and moved to open the door for her. As she passed him, his hand brushed her arm by accident. They both froze at the contact. It was light, casual, but her skin reacted like it remembered every time his eyes had lingered on her in the past few months. "Sorry," he murmured. "It's fine," she said quickly, pulling away. She left the office and walked down the hall, heart pounding in a new rhythm. The morning unfolded in subtle shifts. Rosa tried to take over most of the heavier tasks, despite Lily's protests. "Orders from the boss?" she said with a little smile. "He said you do too much." One of the younger cleaners came to help Lily in the dining room without being asked. "Mr. Conti told me to," she explained. "Said you shouldn't handle everything alone today." Lily tried not to look toward Pietro's office, but her eyes drifted there more than once. He did not shout once. He did not bark orders. He asked, calmly. He even came to the kitchen after breakfast was served, took a mug, and poured his own coffee instead of waiting for her to bring it. Rosa raised her brows when he did it. "Good morning," he said to the staff. They mumbled greetings, all slightly confused. His gaze found Lily. "Can I talk to you for a second?" he asked. She hesitated, then nodded. They stepped just outside the kitchen, near the hallway wall. He did not corner her. He gave her space. "I spoke to Jake," he said. Her eyes widened. "What?" "This morning," he continued. "I asked one of my men to bring him to a cafe near his place. I wanted to apologize in person." Lily stared at him, speechless. "I told him I was wrong," Pietro said. "That I overreacted. That I shouldn't have raised my hand or my voice. I thanked him for looking out for you. I also told him that if anyone ever bothers him because of me, I'll handle it." Her throat tightened again. "What did he say?" she asked. "He said I'm lucky you didn't throw a drink in my face," Pietro replied, a faint corner of his mouth lifting. She huffed, almost a laugh. "That sounds like him," she said quietly. "He also said something else," Pietro added. "What?" He said you've been hurt before, Pietro said, by men who didn't respect you. He told me that if I ever treat you like they did, he'll be the one I have to answer to. Not with fists, with what he called public humiliation. Lily covered her mouth for a second, half horrified, half moved. He really said that? She asked. Yes, Pietro answered, and he was right. Emotion swelled inside her chest. I gave him my word, Pietro said. I'm giving you the same one. She looked up at him. His eyes were steady, no sign of mockery or games. Okay, she said softly. Thank you. He nodded once. I'll stop bothering you now, he said. I know you have work to do. He walked away, leaving a strange warmth behind him. The rest of the day passed in a new rhythm. He kept his distance physically, but not emotionally. He asked if she needed anything. He checked if her shift was too long. He told the driver to wait for her downstairs so she wouldn't have to take the train home late. When she tried to protest, he raised a hand. You said boundaries, he reminded her. You didn't say I couldn't make sure you get home safely. Her lips pressed together, but she accepted it. By night, her body was tired, but her mind was calmer. She showered in the small staff bathroom, pulled on a simple t-shirt and soft shorts, and walked down the quiet hallway toward the staff rooms. The penthouse was dark except for a few lamps. The city lights outside pressed against the windows. Most of the staff had already gone home. Only a couple of night guards remained near the entrance. Her room was at the end of the hallway. She reached for the doorknob and felt something under her fingers, a folded piece of paper. Her heart jumped. She took it, glancing down the hallway to see if anyone watched. No one did. She opened the note. Lily, I can't change last night, but I can change everything from today forward. You were right about me. I don't want to be that man again. I will prove it with what I do, not with what I say. If you ever feel I am crossing a line, tell me. I will listen. You deserve respect, safety, and the chance to live your life, even if that life pulls you away from mine one day. I hope it doesn't. Pietro. Her throat closed up. She read the note twice, then a third time. He hoped her life would not pull her away from his. She held the paper against her chest for a moment, breathing slowly, feeling a warmth spread through her body that had nothing to do with anger or humiliation. He had apologized. He had talked to her. He had talked to her brother. He was changing his behavior, and he was not hiding the truth. He cared. Lily folded the note carefully, as if it was something fragile, and placed it inside the drawer of the small nightstand by her bed. She turned off the lamp and lay down, staring at the ceiling. For the first time since the nightclub, she closed her eyes and did not see his angry face. She saw him in his office with his guard down. She saw his hand shaking slightly when he talked about losing her trust. She saw his signature at the bottom of that note, narrow and strong. What if he meant every word? What if this was not just guilt? What if this was the beginning of something real? Her heart beat faster with a new kind of fear, a softer one, because if he kept his promise. She had no idea how long she would be able to resist him. And if she let herself fall, would his world ever truly be safe for her? She turned to her side and closed her eyes, holding the image of his face in the doorway of the kitchen, eyes tired, voice low, saying, "You are not just my maid." Sleep came easier than she expected. In the morning, the real test would begin. Would the Mafia boss keep acting like a man who wanted to deserve her? Lily woke up before her alarm. For the first time in weeks, her mind wasn't heavy. The note under her pillow had done something she didn't expect. It softened the sharpness of her memories from the club. It didn't erase them, nothing could. But it changed the way they sat inside her. She brushed her hair, tied it back, dressed in her uniform, and left her small apartment feeling strangely nervous. Not anxious, not fearful, just aware. Aware that today might feel different. Aware that he promised actions, not words. Aware that part of her wanted to see if he meant it. The elevator doors opened to the penthouse floor, and she stepped out into a quiet morning. Sunlight poured through the windows. The sky was clear. The usual comfort returned, the smell of coffee brewing, the soft hum of staff preparing breakfast. but something was missing. Pietro wasn't in the kitchen. He was always in the kitchen early, drinking his first coffee of the day, going through files, pretending not to watch her as she moved around preparing things. Today, the counter was empty. "Morning, sweetheart," Rosa said with a little smile. "He's in his office." Lily froze mid-step. "He asked if you were here yet," Rosa added. "Twice." Lily's heart flipped. She tried to look unaffected. "He's probably just checking the schedule." Rosa chuckled. "Sure." Lily grabbed a tray and continued her routine, pretending not to listen for footsteps. But she heard them, slow, measured, unmistakable. Pietro appeared in the kitchen doorway. He wasn't dressed in his usual suit yet. Instead, he wore dark jeans and a gray sweater that made him look younger, almost relaxed. His hair was a little messy, like he had gotten out of the shower and towel-dried it in a rush. His eyes scanned the room and stopped on her immediately. "Good morning," he said. Lily swallowed. "Morning, Mr. Conti." "Pietro," he corrected softly. She hesitated. He didn't push it. He stepped inside and leaned his hip against the counter, not blocking her, not commanding space like the day before. Just standing close enough that she felt the warmth of his presence. "I didn't want to interrupt you," he said quietly. "I know mornings are busy." Lily blinked. This was new. "It's fine," she said. "Do you need something?" "Just coffee," he said. "But I'll make it myself." He reached for the mug, poured the coffee, and added sugar exactly how she usually prepared it for him. The staff pretended not to stare, but everyone noticed. Pietro Conti making his own coffee was a historic moment. He sipped it, then nodded toward the hallway. "Can we talk later?" he asked. "Only if you want to." Lily wiped her hands on a towel. "About what?" "About how your day is planned, and other things." Her stomach fluttered. "Sure," she said. He nodded once, a small, almost shy movement, then left the kitchen. Rosa walked up behind Lily, whispering, "My God, he is trying." Lily glared. "Rosa." "What? It's cute." She ignored the comment, mostly because she agreed. The first half of the morning passed smoothly. By noon, Lily had organized the pantry, washed the fruit, cleaned the dining table, and replaced the fresh flowers in the living room. She didn't see Pietro again until she finished placing fresh towels in the guest bathroom. When she stepped out, he was waiting in the hallway. Not hovering, not blocking her path, just waiting. "Do you have a minute?" he asked. "I do," she said. He motioned toward the private lounge near his office. She followed him, feeling her heart beat a little faster with each step. He opened the door and let her enter first. The room was cozy, a small couch, bookshelves, soft lighting. He took a seat in the chair across from her, leaving space between them. "Thank you for yesterday," he began, "for not walking out." "I came because of the job," she said honestly, "but I stayed because of what you said." His expression softened. "I meant every word." Lily looked down at her hands for a moment. "So, what now?" He leaned forward slightly. "Now I prove that I can treat you with the respect you deserve," he said. "Not just today, every day." She inhaled slowly. "Okay." He nodded. "Tell me what you need from me. Be honest. Even if it's something I won't want to hear." Lily thought for a moment. "I need you to talk to me like I matter," she said. "Not like I'm just someone who cleans your house." "You matter," he said immediately. She felt that in her stomach. "I also need you to stop assuming things about my life," she added. "If something bothers you, ask. Don't explode." "I can do that," he said. "And if you're jealous," she said, trying to keep her voice steady, "don't turn it into a scene." He looked down, embarrassed. "I won't." "Good," she said. Silence settled, warm and awkward and sincere. "Can I say something now?" he asked. She nodded. "I want to know you," he said. "Not just your schedule, not just your work. You." Her breath caught. "I know your favorite tea because you make it here sometimes," he continued. "But I don't know your favorite food, or your favorite show, or what you do when you're tired or sad. I don't know what music you like, even though you danced last night like you knew every song." Her cheeks heated. He had watched her. Of course he had. She shifted in her seat. "Why do you want to know all that?" His eyes held hers with quiet honesty. "Because I care about you," he said. Her pulse skipped. She looked away for a second, unsure of how to handle something so direct. "What about you?" she asked, turning back to him. "What do you do when you're tired or sad?" He exhaled. "I work. I go to the gym. I pretend nothing's wrong." He paused. "It never helps." She stared at him, surprised. "Have you ever told that to anyone?" "No." The room felt smaller suddenly. Closer. Warmer. "You don't have to pretend around me," she said. The way he looked at her right then, as if she had said something no one ever said to him, made her chest tighten. A knock on the door broke the moment. "Boss?" one of his men called. Pietro cleared his throat. "Yes?" "Delivery for you, and a message from Ryan." "I'll be right there," Pietro said. He stood, but didn't move toward the door yet. He looked at her again. "Thank you for talking to me," he said. Lily smiled. "Thank you for listening." He left the room, and Lily let herself breathe again. An hour later, she was dusting the shelves in the living room when she heard Pietro call her name. "Lily?" She turned. He was standing near the entryway, holding a small box wrapped in simple white paper. "This is for you," he said. She blinked. "For me?" He handed the box to her gently, as if he was afraid she would drop it. "It's not expensive or anything," he said quickly. "I just saw it this morning and thought—" He stopped, frustrated. "I thought you might like it." She opened the box slowly. Inside was a mug, a simple, elegant mug, with her name engraved on it in small gold letters. Lily. Her breath hitched. "You drink tea every night," he said quietly. "And the staff mugs are old. You deserve your own." She stared at the mug, then at him. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "I'm glad you like it." She did more than like it. She felt something bloom in her chest, something warm, something she tried not to name. "Thank you," she said softly. He rubbed the back of his neck, looking almost shy. "I know it's small, but I'm trying. I want you to see that." "I do," she said. "I really do." His shoulders relaxed slightly. Rosa peeked around the corner, eyes wide, mouthing, "Oh my God." Lily glared at her, but Pietro didn't notice. "Would you like to have dinner tonight?" he asked suddenly. "Here, not formal, just food, talking, if you're comfortable." Her heart jumped. "Dinner?" she repeated. "Yes." "Only if you want to." She hesitated, not because she didn't want to, but because she needed to protect her heart. "Dinner is fine," she said, "but only if it's casual." He nodded. "Casual, I promise." Dinner was nothing like she expected. He didn't call a chef. He didn't set the table with silverware and wine glasses. He didn't turn it into a performance. He ordered takeout. Pizza. And not from an overpriced place either. From a small pizzeria down the street, he said reminded him of his childhood. They sat at the kitchen island, 2 plates, 2 slices of pizza, soft music playing in the background. "This feels strange," she admitted with a small laugh. "Good strange?" he asked. "Yes," she said. They talked. About childhood, about movies, about fears, about silly things they liked. He told her that he used to sneak into his father's office as a boy, but was always caught because he walked too loudly. She told him she used to hide candy under her bed and Jake always stole it. He listened without interrupting. She watched him soften with every story he shared. At one point, she wiped sauce from her lip, and his eyes followed the movement before he looked down quickly. Her stomach flipped. After dinner, they walked onto the balcony. The night was cool, the view bright with city lights. He leaned on the railing beside her, hands relaxed. "Do you like it here?" he asked. "In this job, in this house." She looked out at the skyline. "I like the stability, and the staff is wonderful, and—" She paused. I feel safe here. Most of the time. He nodded slowly. I want it to be always. The words hung in the air. They were close. Their shoulders almost touched, their hands only inches apart. Pietro looked at her, his voice low. Lily, I'm trying not to cross lines. But if I ever do... She shook her head. You're doing better. I see that. His throat moved as he swallowed. Her breath warmed the air between them. For a second, one long, suspended second, Pietro leaned just slightly closer. His eyes dropped to her mouth. Her heart hammered, but then he stepped back, jaw tightening. Not tonight, he said quietly. I don't want to rush anything. I want to earn this. He walked toward the door. Lily stood still, pulse racing. She touched her fingertips to her lips, feeling heat there even without a kiss. As he reached the doorway, he turned back. Jake messaged me, Pietro said. He wants to cook dinner for you soon. I told him I'd stay out of the way that night. She blinked. You did? Yes. He cares about you. I respect that. Her chest tightened with something soft and tender. I'll let you rest, he said. Good night, Lily. Good night, Pietro. He disappeared inside. Lily remained on the balcony for a few minutes, letting the cool air calm her racing pulse. She had expected him to try to kiss her. Maybe part of her wanted him to. But the fact that he didn't, that he stopped himself, made something deeper settle inside her. Respect, control, effort. The very things she asked for. She walked to her room and closed the door behind her. But before she lay down, she opened her drawer and looked at the note he had written the night before. Then she looked at the mug with her name on it. He was trying. And she was beginning to feel something she wasn't sure she was ready to acknowledge. But if he kept this up, if he kept being gentle, patient, attentive, if he kept showing her she mattered, how long would she be able to keep her heart from opening? She lay down slowly, closing her eyes. Tomorrow would bring more answers. But another question lingered in her mind as she drifted to sleep. If he was already changing this much, what would Pietro Conti do next to win her completely? The next days felt different in a way Lily could not ignore. Nothing dramatic happened. No big speeches. No sudden gestures that looked like they came out of a movie. Instead, there were small, steady changes that made her notice Pietro even more. He asked how she slept. He checked if she had already eaten before he sat down for breakfast. He stopped raising his voice at staff and started asking for things in a calm tone. He still carried the weight of his world on his shoulders, but he did not throw that weight at her anymore. On the third morning after their pizza dinner, Lily was arranging fresh flowers in a vase on the dining table when she heard his footsteps behind her. Lily, Pietro said. She straightened and turned around. He was in a dark blue suit, perfectly fitted, white shirt, no tie yet. His hair was styled, his jaw freshly shaved. He looked ready for something important. Good morning, she said. Good morning, he replied. His eyes flicked to the flowers. You always pick the right ones. She gave a small smile. Rosa chooses the colors. I just make them stand straight. You make everything here stand straight, he said, including me. Her cheeks warmed at the quiet compliment. He cleared his throat. I need to ask you something. Her stomach tightened. Is everything okay? Yes, he said. Better than before, actually. I have an event tonight. A formal one. I have to go. It is at a hotel downtown. She nodded. Do you need me to prepare anything before you go? Clothes? Schedule? Something for when you return? He shook his head. No, that is not what I want. He took a breath. I want you to come with me. She froze, fingers still resting on the flower stems. Come with you? She repeated. Yes, he said. As my guest. Her heart jumped hard. Pietro, I work for you, she said. Events like that are not for staff. People will talk. People always talk, he said simply. I am not asking them. I am asking you. Do you want to come? She looked at him, trying to read his expression. He looked serious, but there was a hint of something nervous in his eyes. That was new. "What kind of event is it?" she asked. "A charity gala," he said. "Officially. In reality, it is a place where people with money and influence smile at each other and make deals about things that affect the city." He paused. "Some of those people are part of my world. Some are not. I want them to see you beside me." "Why?" she asked softly. "Because you are important to me," he said, "and because I am tired of pretending I walk through life alone." Her chest felt tight in a good way. "You do not have to answer now," he added quickly. "Think about it. If you feel uncomfortable, you can say no. I will not be angry. I will understand." She stared at him for a long second. "What would I even wear?" she asked. Relief touched his eyes. "I already thought about that," he said. "There is a dress in the guest room closet. One of my contacts delivered it this morning. If you hate it, we can find another solution." She almost laughed. "You bought a dress before asking me?" "I bought a dress hoping you would say yes," he corrected. "If you say no, I will send it back." He looked at her with quiet patience. The Lily from a few weeks ago would have said no without thinking. She would have been afraid of being out of place, afraid of the judgment, afraid of what standing next to a man like Pietro in public would mean. The Lily from now remembered his apology, his note, his steady effort every day. "Okay," she said. His eyes widened slightly. "Okay." "I will go," she said. "As your guest." Slow relief and something warmer spread across his face. "Thank you," he said. She took a breath. "There is one condition." "Name it." "You do not control how I talk, how I smile, who I greet," she said. "You can warn me about someone if you feel they are dangerous. But you do not get to bark at me across the room because you do not like the way someone looks at me." He nodded at once. "Agreed." Her shoulders relaxed. "And if I feel overwhelmed," she added, "we leave. No questions." "We leave," he confirmed. She straightened the last flower, trying to calm her racing pulse. "What time do we leave?" she asked. "The car will pick us up at 7, he said. "If you want, the stylist can help you at 5. Hair, makeup, whatever you are comfortable with." "A stylist?" she repeated. He pressed his lips together. "Too much?" She hesitated, then shook her head. "No, just new. If you do not like anything they do, you tell them to change it," he said. "You are in charge of how you look, not them, not me." Her heart softened again. "Okay," she said quietly. "Then I will be ready at 5. He allowed himself a small smile. "I cannot wait to see you." He walked away before she could answer. At 5 o'clock sharp, Lily walked into the guest room and stopped. There were people in there, a woman with a tablet, a man with a makeup case, another woman with a set of tools for hair. They all turned to her with friendly smiles. "You must be Lily," the first woman said. "I'm Natalie. He told us you might run away unless we were very nice." Lily blinked. "He said that?" "Oh yes," Natalie said with a laugh. "And he also said that if we make you uncomfortable, we never work here again, so you are safe." That made Lily relax a little. They sat her down in front of a mirror. Natalie asked what Lily liked. "Nothing heavy," Lily said. "I do not want thick makeup. I still want to look like myself. Soft skin, light eyes, a little mascara, soft lipstick." "Got it," Natalie said. "And your hair?" Lily looked at her reflection. "Simple waves, maybe, nothing huge." "We can do that," the hairstylist said. For the next hour, hands moved around her, brushes touched her skin, fingers slid through her hair, curling and smoothing. The feeling was strange and a little luxurious. She was not used to being the center of attention this way. Usually, she was the one in the background, invisible. Useful. Today, she was the one being prepared. When they finished, Natalie stepped back. "Ready to see?" she asked. Lily looked at herself in the mirror, and her chest tightened. Her skin looked smooth and fresh. Her eyes looked a little bigger with the soft makeup. Her lips had a natural pink tone. Her hair fell in loose, shiny waves around her shoulders, framing her face. "You look beautiful," Natalie said. Lily swallowed. Thank you. Time for the dress, the hairstylist said, pointing to the closet. Lily stood and opened the door. The dress hung alone on the rail. A deep emerald green gown, simple but elegant. The fabric fell in a clean line with thin straps and a modest neckline that still showed her collarbones. The waist was fitted, the skirt flowed down in a way that would move nicely when she walked. She ran her fingers over the fabric. He picked this? She asked. Yes, Natalie said. He was very clear he did not want anything too revealing. He said you should feel comfortable, not exposed. Something warm spread in Lily's chest. She changed behind the screen, then stepped out. The room fell quiet. Lily looked at her reflection. The dress fit perfectly. The color made her eyes stand out. Her shoulders looked smooth, her shape defined but not forced. She did not feel like someone else. She felt like the same person, just more polished. Natalie smiled. He is going to stop breathing when he sees you. Lily's stomach flipped. I will send a text, Natalie said. He is waiting in the hall. Lily took a deep breath, smoothed her hands down the sides of her dress, and tried not to think about the way her heart pounded. There was a soft knock on the door. Come in, Natalie called. The door opened. Pietro stepped inside and then stopped. For a moment, he did not move. He wore a black suit with a crisp white shirt and a dark tie. His hair was neatly styled, his jaw strong, his posture straight. He looked every inch the powerful man the city whispered about. But his eyes were not cold. They were locked on her with open, stunned honesty. Lily felt her face heat under his gaze. Say something, she said quietly. His mouth curved just a little. I am trying to find words, he said. And that is not something that happens often. Her lips twitched. You look... He shook his head once. You look perfect, Lily. The simple sentence hit deeper than any complicated compliment. Thank you, she said softly. He stepped closer, slow and careful. He did not reach out to touch her. He just stood close enough that she could smell his clean cologne and feel the warmth from his body. Are you comfortable? He asked. If anything feels wrong, we change it. We do not go. I am comfortable, she said. A little nervous. That makes two of us, he admitted. Natalie pretended to busy herself with her tablet, but Lily could feel the woman smiling behind them. Pietro offered his arm. Ready? He asked. She placed her hand on his forearm. The contact sent a small shiver through her. Yes, she said. The car ride to the hotel was quiet, but not tense. They sat side by side in the back seat. Lily's fingers brushed the fabric of her dress, smoothing out imaginary wrinkles. Pietro watched her discreetly. If at any point you want to leave, he said, you just tell me. I know, she said. Thank you. He nodded and looked out the window. The city moved around them. Lights, people, cars, normal life. Inside the car, Lily felt like she was headed into a different world altogether. When they arrived at the hotel, the driver stepped out and opened the door. Pietro got out first, then turned and offered his hand to her. She placed her hand in his. The moment her fingers touched his, he closed his grip steady and firm and helped her out of the car. The air was cool, the buzz of voices loud in front of the entrance. People in evening wear walked in and out. There were flashes from cameras near the door, journalists calling names. Pietro Conti, someone called. He did not slow down. He kept her hand in his as they walked inside, past the crowd, past the curious eyes. He did not drop her hand until they reached the main foyer, where a staff member greeted them and checked their names. Mr. Conti, the woman said with a polite smile. Welcome. And this is Lily Parker, he said without hesitation. She is with me. The woman's eyes flicked to Lily, then back to him. Her professional smile stayed in place. Welcome, Miss Parker, she said. The ballroom is this way. They followed the flow of guests into the large room. The ballroom was wide and bright, with crystal chandeliers, round tables covered in white cloths, a stage at the front where a speaker already stood, a live band in one corner playing soft music. The smell of perfume, food, and wine mixed in the air, Lily's heart beat fast, but Pietro's hand at the small of her back steadied her. "Do you feel okay?" he asked, bending his head closer to her ear so she could hear him. "Yes," she said. "It is a lot, but I am okay." "If anyone makes you uncomfortable, you tell me," he said. She nodded. They moved through the room slowly. People greeted Pietro with smiles that did not always reach their eyes. Some men reached out to shake his hand. Some women gave him long glances and then looked at Lily with open curiosity. Pietro did not let go of her. "This is new," one older man said with a knowing smile as they passed. "You never bring anyone, Conti." "Times change," Pietro replied calmly. Lily caught the way the man's eyes lingered on her dress, then on Pietro's hand at her back. She straightened, meeting his gaze without lowering her head. Pietro noticed and seemed pleased. They reached a small table near the edge of the room. "We can stay here," he said. "We do not need to sit at the front." "Are you sure?" she asked. "Do you not need to be up there with the important people?" He looked at her. "You are the important person to me." Her chest warmed again. A waiter arrived with champagne flutes. "Sparkling water for her," Pietro said quickly. "And one for me as well." The waiter nodded and changed the glasses, placing sparkling water instead of champagne. Lily smiled faintly. "You do not want to drink?" "I want to remember every second of this," he said simply. Her throat tightened. They listened to the first speech from the stage. It was about charity, funding, helping families in need. The cause was real, even if some of the people here clearly treated it like a backdrop for their own power games. After a while, Pietro leaned toward her. "Do you want to walk around?" he asked. "Sure," she said. They moved through the crowd again. A few people stopped them to talk to Pietro. He introduced her each time, not as staff, not as someone who worked for him. "This is Lily," he said. "She is with me." Some smiles were polite, some were tight. Some held curiosity that was not hostile, just surprised. Then a man stepped in front of them who made the air feel heavier. He was in his 40s, dark hair, expensive suit, a sharp look in his eyes. His smile did not match his eyes. "Conti," he said, "you clean up well." "Marcus," Pietro replied. His tone was calm but firm. "You are still alive. Congratulations." Marcus laughed. "For now." Lily did not like the way Marcus's gaze slid over her, assessing, dismissive and interested at the same time. "And who is this?" Marcus asked. "You never bring dates to these things." "This is Lily Parker," Pietro said. "She is with me." Marcus tilted his head. "With you how?" "The way that is none of your business," Pietro replied. Marcus's smile stretched. "Relax," he said. "I am only curious. Your taste is better than I expected." He looked at Lily. "You have no idea how many stories they tell about him at places like this. You must be very brave." Lily held his gaze. "Or maybe I just know more than stories." Marcus's eyes narrowed for a second, then he chuckled. "She has a spine," he said to Pietro. "You will need that." "I know," Pietro said. Marcus moved a little closer than necessary. "If I were you," Marcus murmured, his eyes still on Lily, "I would not bring someone you care about into this room. Some people here do not respect boundaries." Lily felt a small shiver in her stomach. Pietro stepped subtly in front of her, blocking Marcus's view. "Then maybe those people should stay away from my table," he said. "And from the people at it." Marcus lifted his hands in a mock gesture of peace. "Always so serious," he said. "Enjoy your night, Conti." He walked away. Lily's heartbeat picked up. "Who is he?" she asked quietly. "Someone who likes to test limits," Pietro said. "And someone you do not need to worry about. That is my job." She looked up at him. "You said you would tell me if something was wrong." He exhaled. "He is a man who controls parts of the city I do not like. We disagree on many things. That is all you need to know for now. If there ever is a problem, I will be honest with you." She studied his face. There was tension in his jaw, but his eyes stayed focused on her. "I trust you," she said. Some of the tension eased from his shoulders. "Come," he said. "There is a balcony, less noise." The balcony was quiet and cooler than the ballroom. Soft lights lined the railing. The city spread out below them, a wide view of buildings and streets and moving cars. The sound of the party inside became a distant murmur. Lily rested her hands on the railing. The air felt clean after the heavy perfume and hot lights of the ballroom. "Better?" Pietro asked. "Yes," she said. "Much." He stood beside her, leaving just enough space so she did not feel trapped, but close enough that she felt protected. "You handled him well," Pietro said, referring to Marcus. "I did not say much," she replied. "You said enough," he countered. "You did not lower your head. You did not let him make you feel small. I was proud of you." Her chest warmed. "I was more worried about you," she admitted. "You looked like you wanted to hit him." He gave a short breath that was almost a laugh. "Old habits," he said. "I am trying not to solve everything with my fists." She turned her head slightly toward him. "You are doing well," she said. "I see the effort. I see how you stop yourself and think before you talk. It matters." He looked at her as if her words were more valuable than everything inside the ballroom. "I am learning," he said. "Because of you." Silence settled in, but it was a gentle one. She focused on the view, on the cool air against her skin, on the warmth of his presence at her side. He watched her. "Do you feel out of place here?" he asked. She thought about it. A little, but in the good way. "What does that mean?" he asked. "I am not used to people looking at me and wondering who I am," she said. "Usually they do not look at me at all. Tonight they wonder because I am with you. That feels strange, but I am not ashamed to be here. I do not feel less than anyone." His gaze softened. "You are not less than anyone," he said. "Not here. Not in my house. Not anywhere." She felt that all the way down to her stomach. "You know what I kept thinking inside?" she asked. "What?" "I kept thinking that I was glad you did not act the way you did in the club," she said. "You did not grab me. You did not raise your voice. You did not try to move me around like a piece on a board. You just stayed close." "I promise to be better," he said. "And you are," she said simply. He looked at her mouth for a second, then raised his eyes back to hers. "Lily," he said quietly. Her breathing slowed, deeper, more aware. "I want to kiss you," he admitted. "I have wanted to for weeks, but I do not want you to feel like I am taking something from you." Her heart raced. "You are not," she said. He studied her face. "Are you sure?" "Yes," she said. "If I did not want it, I would tell you." He took a small step closer. His hand moved to her waist, resting there lightly, giving her time to step away. She did not move. Her hands curled slightly on the railing. He leaned in slowly, his eyes on hers. There was no rush, no pressure, just a steady, clear intention. When his lips touched hers, everything inside her sharpened. The kiss was soft at first. His mouth was warm. His breath tasted faintly of mint and water. His hand pressed a little firmer at her waist, pulling her closer. Her hand lifted from the railing and landed on his chest, feeling the solid beat of his heart under the fabric of his suit. He tilted his head and deepened the kiss, still slow, still controlled, giving her space to decide how far to go. She made the decision for both of them when she moved closer and kissed him back with more certainty. He responded with a quiet sound that she felt more than heard, his other hand coming up to rest at the side of her neck, his thumb gently stroking her skin. There was no chaos, no crowd, no raised voices. Only him. Only her. Only the warm, careful way he poured all his building feelings into that first real kiss. When he finally pulled back, it was gradual. He pressed one last, soft kiss to her lips before moving his head away. They stayed close, foreheads almost touching, breathing a little unevenly. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded, a small, dazed smile touching her mouth. "Yes." He brushed his thumb along her jaw, slow and reverent. "I do not regret a single second of that," he said. "But if you do, you can tell me." "I do not," she said. "At all." A quiet relief washed over his features. "Good," he said. They stayed on the balcony for a few more minutes, talking in low voices, sharing small details they had never said before. It felt private, almost safe, even knowing that on the other side of the doors was a room full of people who would never understand what this meant to them. Finally, Pietro checked his watch. "We should go back inside for a bit," he said. "Then we can leave early if you want." "I would like that," she said. They walked back into the ballroom. This time, Lily felt different. She did not feel like a guest who snuck in. She felt like a woman standing beside a man who had just shown her a part of his heart. People still stared. Some of them raised eyebrows. Some looked surprised. Lily did not care. Pietro stayed close, his hand resting at her back, his body language clear. "She is with me. Respect her." They stayed another hour, just enough to avoid talk. Then Pietro leaned toward her. "Ready to go?" he asked. "Yes." They said quick goodbyes, moved past the press, and stepped into the cool night again. The car door closed behind them, sealing them inside a smaller, quieter space. Lily leaned back against the seat. Pietro watched her, his eyes soft. "Thank you for coming with me," he said. "Tonight was easier because you were there." "Easier?" she asked. That room felt like pressure. He gave a small huff. "That kind of pressure is normal for me. The kind I am not used to is the feeling I had tonight of wanting to protect someone more than myself." Her chest warmed. "You did protect me," she said. "You stayed close. You did not let Marcus get to me." His expression turned serious at the name. "When he stepped too close, I wanted to do more than talk," he admitted. "But I remembered what you said, so I kept my hands to myself." She smiled a little. "I noticed that too." They fell into a comfortable silence after that. When the car pulled into the building's private garage, Pietro's phone vibrated. He frowned and pulled it out. A message. His eyes darkened as he opened it. Lily saw his body change. His jaw tightened, his shoulders stiffened, the muscles in his hand flexed around the phone. "What is it?" she asked. "Nothing you need to worry about," he said automatically. She narrowed her eyes. "You promised to be honest." He exhaled slowly and turned the screen slightly away from her. It was a photo. She could still see enough. It was of the building, the entrance, and her. She was in a simple coat, holding her bag, walking out the door earlier that evening. The angle showed that the picture was taken from a distance, probably from a car across the street. Under the image, a short message. "Nice choice, Conti. Be careful where you take her." Lily's stomach dropped. "They know who I am," she said quietly. "Yes," Pietro said. His voice was low but steady. "They do." Fear rose in her chest, but it mixed with something else when she looked at him. The cold, focused expression on his face was not the same as the jealous rage from the nightclub. This was different. This was the controlled, dangerous side of him that the city feared. He put the phone away. "I am going to handle this," he said. "But from now on, we do not pretend this risk does not exist." She swallowed hard. "What does that mean for me?" "It means you are under my protection now," he said. "Not as an employee, as someone I care about." Her pulse pounded. "Can your protection really stop people like that?" she asked. His eyes met hers, dark and determined. "If they try anything," he said, "they will regret it more than anything they have done in their lives." The words were calm, firm, final. The car door opened. He stepped out and turned to her, offering his hand again. She took it. As she stood in the garage, the weight of what had just changed settled on her. She was not just the maid who worked in the penthouse anymore. She was the woman who walked beside a Mafia boss in public. She was the woman someone had decided to watch, And she was the woman Pietro Conti had just silently promised to protect at any cost. The question that lingered as they walked toward the elevator together was simple and heavy. How far would his world go to test that promise? And how far would he go to keep it? Lily barely slept after the gala. She kept replaying the balcony kiss, the way Pietro's hands felt on her waist, the way his voice softened every time he spoke to her. And then the photo, the shadowy reminder that someone out there knew who she was. By morning, she felt a mixture of warmth and unease twisting inside her. When she reached the penthouse floor, 2 new guards stood near the private elevator. They nodded at her with professional seriousness. "Good morning, Miss Parker," one of them said. She blinked. "Miss Parker?" "Yes," he said. "Mr. Conti's instructions." She stepped out of the elevator slowly, taking in the small but noticeable differences. More staff moving around, new faces she had never seen. A higher level of alertness in the air. Then she saw him. Pietro walked out of his office wearing dark slacks and a fitted navy sweater. No jacket, no tie. Hair slightly messy, like he'd been running his hand through it repeatedly. His eyes softened the moment he saw her. "Lily," he said, relief in his tone. "Come here." She walked toward him, heart beating faster than she wanted. He didn't touch her, not in front of everyone. But the way he looked at her felt like an intimate gesture on its own. "Did you sleep?" he asked. "A little," she admitted. "You?" "Barely," he said. "But I'm fine." She studied him. He did look tired, but not defeated, more like someone who had been planning, thinking, preparing. "What happens now?" she asked quietly. "Now," he said, "I make sure you are safe, and I do it without locking you inside the house like a prisoner." Her chest warmed. He motioned for her to follow him to the kitchen. He poured his own coffee again, she noticed, but made a second mug for her, placing it gently in front of her. "You don't have to do that," she said. "I want to," he answered. The simplicity of the words sent a small shiver through her. She took a sip, and he leaned against the counter, crossing his arms. "I need to ask you something," he said, "and I want you to be honest." "Okay." "Do you want to keep working here?" he asked. "In this house? In this world?" She blinked. "Do you want me to quit?" "No," he said quickly. "That's the problem. I want you here. But I need to know if this is still what you want." She set the mug down. "I want to stay," she said. "But you need to understand something too. I'm not here because I feel trapped. I'm here because I want to be." He nodded slowly. "And," she added, "I don't want to live my life in fear. If your world is going to affect me, I need you to help me face it, not hide from it." His jaw softened. "I will," he said, "every step of the way." She exhaled, a little calmer. "And Lily," he added, voice lower, "I don't want you staying here just because you feel something for me." Her breath caught. "What are you saying?" she asked quietly. He pushed off the counter and moved a little closer, not crowding, just stepping into her space gently. "I want you to stay," he said, "because you choose me. Not because you think you should. Not because of one kiss. Not because of last night. You choose. I don't want anything from you you're not ready to give." Her heart skipped. "I don't feel pressured," she whispered. He breathed out, almost relieved. "Good." Silence settled for a moment, warm and full of something growing between them. Then Rosa walked in and froze mid-step, eyes jumping between them. "Oh, sorry," she said quickly. "I'll go check the fridge." Lily covered a smile. Pietro exhaled through his nose, amused. The day continued quietly, too quietly. Every time Lily turned a corner, a guard was somewhere in the room, not staring at her, watching entrances, scanning the windows, listening to radios. She knew this was Pietro's doing. At lunchtime, Pietro walked into the kitchen with his phone in hand. "Jake is coming tonight," he said. Her heart jumped. "He is?" "Yes. He said he wants to make dinner for both of you. I told him the kitchen is his for the night." Pietro paused. "And I told him I won't be here." Her head snapped up. Why not? Pietro shrugged one shoulder. He said he wanted time alone with you. To talk. To make sure you're okay. I respect that. Her chest softened. That's considerate, she said. Pietro met her eyes. He cares about you. I would be an idiot not to listen to him. She gave a small smile. Thank you. He nodded, but she saw something in his expression. Tension, a pinch of jealousy he was trying to hide. You don't like the idea, she whispered. I don't like being away from you right now, he admitted quietly. But that's my problem, not yours. Her pulse raced. Pietro. He looked down, then up again. Lily, he said softly, I trust you, and I trust your brother. So tonight I will be out of the house doing what needs to be done, and you will have dinner with him. That's how this works. I don't get to isolate you just because I'm jealous. She swallowed. He was trying so hard. It made her chest ache in the best way. Before she could answer, he stepped back. But before I go, he said, I need to show you something. He pulled out a small keyring. Not for doors, but for electronic access cards. This is an emergency badge, he said. It gives you access to the safe room in the penthouse. If anything happens, even if you think it's a false alarm, you go there. Her stomach tightened. Is it that serious? She asked. For me, he said, you are that serious. Her breath caught. He handed her the badge. She held it, feeling its weight. You really think something could happen? She asked. I think it's better to be careful, he said, and I think you deserve to feel prepared. She nodded and slipped the badge into her apron pocket. He watched her quietly, then took a step closer. Lily, he said, I don't want to scare you. I'm not scared, she whispered. I'm just processing. His eyes softened. If you ever feel unsafe, he said, I will come to you, no matter where I am. Her pulse fluttered. I know, she said softly. I believe you. He exhaled, relief loosening his shoulders. Jake arrived at 6. Lily opened the door before the guards could, and Jake wrapped her in a huge hug. You look less stressed, he said, pulling back. That's good. She smiled. I am less stressed. Jake looked over her head right as Pietro appeared in the hall. The two men nodded at each other. Jake, Pietro said calmly. Conti, Jake replied. Thanks for letting me cook. Thank you for being here, Pietro said. She needs family. Lily felt her eyes warm. Jake crossed his arms. We'll talk later, you and I. Pietro nodded once. I expected that. They weren't friends, but there was respect, and that was enough. Pietro turned to Lily. I'll be back late, he said. If you need anything, call. She looked up at him, trying to keep her voice steady. Be careful. His eyes softened. I will. He was about to turn away but paused, just long enough to gently touch her elbow, a silent promise before he left. She felt the warmth long after the door closed behind him. Dinner with Jake was full of laughter. He chopped vegetables too loud, dropped a spoon twice, and almost burned the garlic. You nervous? Lily teased. Shut up, he muttered. Your boss scares me. He isn't my boss right now, she said. We're something else. Jake stopped cutting. Something else? He repeated. Are you two? Lily bit her bottom lip. It's complicated. Jake stared at her, then sighed. Do you like him? He asked. She hesitated. Yes, she admitted, more than I should. Jake set the knife down. He better deserve you, he said, because if he breaks your heart, I'm punching him. She laughed, a little teary. Please don't. Then he better behave. He served them pasta, simple and imperfect but comforting. They talked about childhood, memories, his new job applications, and how different her life was in this penthouse. Then Jake leaned back. So you kissed him, he said. Lily choked. Jake? What? Big sister moment. I need details. She covered her face, laughing. I'm not telling you details. He rolled his eyes. Fine. But if he hurts you, he won't, she said softly. Jake saw something in her expression that made him stop talking. "You love him," he said quietly. She froze. "I don't know yet," she whispered. "But I care about him. A lot." Jake nodded, understanding. "Then I hope he earns it." Jake left a little before 10, hugging her again and promising to visit soon. When the door closed, Lily turned and froze. Pietro was there. He stood near the hallway, jacket off, sleeves rolled up, eyes tired but soft when they landed on her. He had just returned. Her pulse jumped. "You're back," she said quietly. "Yes," he said. 10 minutes ago." He walked toward her slowly. "Is everything okay?" she asked. "It is now," he said. She swallowed. "What did Jake say?" Pietro asked. "A lot," she replied with a small smile. "Do I need to worry?" "No," she said. "He wants you to treat me well. That's all." Pietro exhaled. "I will." They stood facing each other for a moment. Then Pietro stepped closer and gently brushed a hair behind her ear. "Did you miss me?" he asked quietly. Her breath caught. She could lie. But the truth slipped out before she could stop it. "Yes." His eyes darkened with something warm and intense. He cupped her cheek with one hand, slow and careful. "Good," he whispered, "because I missed you too." Her pulse raced. "Lily," he said softly, "can I kiss you?" She nodded once, breath shaky. "Yes." He didn't rush. He leaned in slowly, letting her feel every inch of closeness before his lips touched hers. The kiss was deeper than the one on the balcony. Slow, warm, full of emotion that had been building with each day he tried to be better. His thumb stroked her cheek as his other hand slid around her waist, pulling her closer. She wrapped her arms around his neck, feeling his body relax against hers. He kissed her like he was memorizing her, like he wanted to learn every way her lips moved against his. There was no fear, no hesitation, no shadows of the past few days. Only him, only her, only the quiet, growing certainty between them. When he finally pulled back, he rested his forehead against hers. "Lily," he whispered, breath warm on her lips, "I'm falling for you." Her heart squeezed. "Pietro," she whispered back, "I think I'm falling too." His eyes closed for a second, like he needed the moment to steady himself. Then he looked at her, voice low and full of promise. "No matter what happens next," he said, "I'm not letting anything touch you. Not fear, not danger, not anyone." Before she could answer, his phone buzzed in his pocket. He tensed. She pulled back slightly. "What is it?" He checked the screen, and his expression changed. Focused, sharp, protective. "It's about the photo," he said. They moved again. Her stomach tightened. He put the phone away and lifted her chin gently. "Go change into something comfortable," he said softly. "We're talking about this upstairs." Her heartbeat climbed. "What are we talking about?" she asked. He touched her cheek one last time. "About the next step," he said. "Because tonight something became clear." "What?" He held her gaze, voice steady. "You're not just someone in my house anymore. You're someone in my life. And anyone who wants to get to me knows that now." The question that waited in the air was heavy and unavoidable. How far would this danger go? And how far would Pietro go to protect the woman he was falling in love with? Lily changed into soft leggings and an oversized t-shirt, but her mind was far from relaxed clothes. She walked up the stairs to the second floor of the penthouse, the emergency badge Pietro had given her resting in the pocket of her hoodie. Her fingers touched it again and again, as if to check it was still there. The door to his private office was slightly open. She knocked once. "Come in," he said. She stepped inside. Pietro was standing by the window, city lights behind him, his phone on the desk, his sleeves rolled up, tie gone. There was a tension in his shoulders that hadn't left since the message with her photo. When he turned toward her, his expression softened for a second, as if just seeing her eased something inside him. "Sit," he said gently. motioning to the small couch near his desk. "Please." She sat, tucking one leg under her. He stayed standing for a moment, then came over and sat beside her, turned slightly so he could face her. "Tell me what's going on," she said quietly. "No filters." He took a breath. "The message I got earlier," he began, "was from someone close to Marcus. Not Marcus himself, but one of his people. They wanted me to know that they know who you are, where you live, where you work, where you walk." Her stomach tightened. "Do they want something from you?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "To remind me that if I keep pushing back against their deals, they will stop playing strictly with numbers and start playing with people." Her hands curled into fists on her knees. "And I'm one of those people," she said. He looked straight at her. "You are the main one." Fear rose in her chest, but so did anger. "So what do we do?" she asked. "I'm not running and hiding in another city because some coward took a picture from across the street." His mouth twitched with a hint of approval. "I'm not sending you away," he said. "If you wanted to, I'd help you, but I'm not pushing you out of your own life." "Good," she said. He leaned his elbows on his knees, hands clasped. "I already started changing your routine," he said. "The guards in the lobby, the car that follows you when you leave, the safe routes we planned." She nodded. She had noticed all of that. "What I haven't done," he added, "is ask you how you feel about it." She blinked. "You think I'm not scared?" "I think you're stronger than most people I know," he said. "But I don't want your strength to be the only thing holding you together." His voice was softer now. "Tell me," he said. "What are you feeling?" No one ever asked her that like this, not waiting for a quick "I'm fine," but asking for the real answer. "I feel exposed," she admitted. "Before I was a face in the crowd. Now I know someone could be watching me when I think I'm alone. At the train station, on the sidewalk, coming home." His jaw tightened. "I hate that idea," she continued. "I hate that they went after me instead of facing you." "They went after you because of me," he said quietly. "Yes," she said. "But I also feel protected, because they sent a message, and you didn't pretend it was nothing. You took it seriously. You changed things. You told me the truth." He looked at her with something close to gratitude. "And I feel one more thing," she added, voice even softer. "I feel like I'm part of your life now. Not just your staff, not just your maid, the kind of person your enemies watch." His expression shifted at that. "You are part of my life," he said. "The most important part." Her chest tightened. "Then we deal with this," she said. "Together." He stared at her for a moment. "I don't know what I did to deserve you," he said quietly. "But I'm not losing you." She took his hand, lacing her fingers with his. "You're not," she said, "unless you push me away yourself. And I don't see you doing that." He squeezed her hand, then released it slowly. "There's one more thing," he said. "I need you to be prepared if something happens when I'm not here." She swallowed. "Prepared how?" He stood and held out a hand to her. "Come," he said. "I'll show you." She took his hand and stood. He led her out of the office, down the hall, to a door she had always assumed was a storage closet. He held a small card to a hidden panel. The door unlocked with a soft click. Inside, the room was small but solid. No windows, reinforced walls, a screen on the wall, a secure phone, a small couch, water, first aid kit. "This is the safe room," he said. "If anything feels wrong, alarm, shouting, unknown faces at the door, you come here. You swipe your badge. The door locks from the inside. No one gets in unless you open it." Her throat tightened as she stepped in. "It feels strange to see this," she said. "I always knew you lived with risk, but seeing the kind of room you need, it exists so you don't have to be brave in the wrong way," he said. "Sometimes strength is running to the right place, not trying to fight." She nodded, eyes on the screen. "Will you see me from here?" she asked. "Yes," he said. "There are cameras in the main entries. If you're in here, I will know. My men will know." And if you're gone? She asked. He stepped closer. If I'm gone physically, he said, I'll still get alerts. You won't be alone, Lily. Not for a second. She looked up at him. The seriousness in his eyes, the way his voice stayed steady, calmed her more than the room itself. Okay, she said. I understand. He searched her face. Does this make you want to leave? He asked quietly. She thought about it, about the photo, about the message, about the safe room. No, she said. It makes me want to stay and see how far we can go. His chest rose with a slow breath. Then we go as far as we can, he said. The next days were a strange mix of normal routine and constant alert. She still made breakfast, still arranged flowers, still folded his shirts and placed them in his closet, still heard his voice in the hallway and felt that same pull in her chest. But she also noticed the small radio in the guard's ear when she stepped outside. Noticed the black car parked a few spaces down from the building entrance whenever she left. Noticed how Pietro's eyes always checked the room before he relaxed. One afternoon, she went with Rosa to a small market down the street. A guard followed at a distance, pretending to be a man checking his phone. At first, Lily felt watched. Then she felt safer. They're not here to control you, Pietro had said. They're here to protect you. She repeated that to herself every time she saw a dark jacket near the corner of her vision. They were halfway back from the market, bags of groceries in hand, when the guard suddenly stepped in front of them. Inside the car, he said calmly, Now. Rosa stiffened. What's going on? Inside, he repeated. Please. Lily's heart jumped. Is something wrong? He opened the back door of a nearby SUV. Get in. Her pulse raced, but she obeyed, helping Rosa climb into the back seat first. The guard closed the door behind them, then got into the front. The engine started. The SUV pulled away from the curb more quickly than usual. Tell us what's happening, Lily said, trying to keep her voice steady. The guard checked the mirror. There was a car parked across from the building again, he said. Same license plate as 2 days ago. 2 men inside. They left when you did. Ryan thought it was too much of a coincidence. Ryan, Pietro's right-hand man. Are they following us? Lily asked. Not anymore, the guard said. Another team is handling that. My job is to get you home without walking on the street. Rosa gripped Lily's hand. Lily took a slow breath. Her stomach tightened, but she refused to let panic take over. Are we safe right now? She asked. Yes, he said. Doors are locked, windows tinted. You're okay. She nodded, focusing on her breathing. A few minutes later, they drove into the private garage entrance. The guard escorted them to the elevator, making sure no one else was around, then rode up with them. By the time they stepped into the penthouse, Lily's legs felt a little weak, but she walked straight. Pietro was already in the living room, tension pouring off him. Ryan stood near the window, phone in hand. When Pietro saw Lily, his shoulders dropped with visible relief. Are you okay? He asked, crossing the room in quick, controlled steps. Yes, she said. We're fine. He stopped right in front of her, eyes scanning her face. Then Rosa, then back to her. What happened? She asked. He looked at the guard. Tell her. The guard explained again, shorter this time. Pietro listened, jaw tight. Did they follow? Lily asked. No, Ryan said. We picked them up 3 streets away. They didn't get close to the car, but they had a camera. Lily's stomach turned. A camera? Yes, Ryan said. We're trying to track where the images go. They're not posting them publicly. That means someone wants to keep them private. Someone who liked having that power. She wrapped her arms around herself. Pietro saw the movement and shook his head. Come here, he said quietly. She stepped closer. He wrapped his arms around her slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. She pressed her face against his chest, breathing in his scent. His hold tightened, strong and steady. You did nothing wrong, he said in her hair. You went to buy groceries. They crossed a line. Not you. She nodded against him. Rosa quietly disappeared into the kitchen, giving them privacy. After a moment, Pietro pulled back enough to look into Lily's eyes. "I'm sorry," he said. "This isn't your fault," she said. "It is," he said. "You are in danger because of me." "I'm also protected because of you," she replied. "If I worked for someone else, no one would care if a car followed me home. At least here, I know you will not ignore it." He stared at her, guilt and gratitude mixing in his gaze. "I wish I could promise you that nothing will ever touch you," he said. "But that would be a lie." "Then don't promise that," she said softly. "Promise that you'll always tell me the truth and do everything you can." "I already do," he said. "Then I accept that," she answered. His jaw worked as he swallowed. "Come upstairs tonight," he said quietly. "After dinner. We need to decide the next steps, and He hesitated. "I don't want you alone." Her heart beat faster. "Okay," she said. Dinner was simple. Soup, bread, quiet conversation with Rosa and one of the other staff members. They talked about normal things, recipes, a show Rosa liked, a neighbor's dog. It was almost easy to forget that someone had pointed a camera at her earlier in the day. Almost. When the dishes were washed and the kitchen cleaned, Lily changed into clean leggings and a soft sweater, then walked upstairs to Pietro's private lounge. The door was open. He was inside, jacket off, shirt sleeves rolled, 2 glasses of water on the coffee table, a folder of documents in front of him. He looked up when she entered. "Hey," he said softly. "Come here." She sat beside him on the couch, not pressed against him but close enough to feel his warmth. "What is that?" she asked, nodding toward the folder. "Information on Marcus and his people," he said. "Patterns, movements, weak points." She frowned. "Are you planning something dangerous?" "I am planning something smart," he said. "Violence is the last option. I have other tools." She nodded slowly. He closed the folder and turned his body toward hers. "But tonight," he said, "I don't want to talk about them only. I want to talk about us." Her heart skipped. "Us," she repeated. "Yes," he said, "because if they are using you to get to me, then what we are, whatever we are, is already real enough for them to see." She swallowed. He reached out and took her hand gently. "Lily," he said, "I care about you. That is not new. I have tried to deny it, ignore it, bury it. It never worked. The night at the club proved that." She remembered the jealousy on his face, the anger in his voice, the humiliation in front of everyone. "I don't want to love you in that way," he said quietly, not with shouting, grabbing, fear. "I want to love you with calm, protection, patience, and respect." Her chest tightened. "You used the word," she whispered. "Love." He nodded once. "I am not asking you to say it back," he said. "I'm not asking you to know what you feel right now. I just need you to know where I stand." Her eyes stung. She squeezed his hand. "Pietro," she said, voice low. "I don't know if I'm ready to say that word yet. But I know this. I feel safer with you than without you. I feel more seen in this house than I have in my entire life. I think about you when I wake up and when I go to sleep. I want you to be okay. I want to be the one you come home to." He exhaled, relief washing over his face. "That is enough," he said. "More than enough." He let go of her hand only to cup her face with both of his, thumbs resting near her jaw. "May I?" he asked quietly. She nodded. He leaned in and kissed her. This kiss was different from the balcony. It had the same care, the same control, but there was more emotion pressed into it. Months of tension, days of fear, hours of holding back. His lips moved against hers slowly, giving her time to feel each second. She slid her hands up his chest to his shoulders, then around his neck, pulling him closer. He responded with a low sound that came from deep inside him, his hands moving back to her waist, then up her back, holding her like he never wanted to let go. He broke the kiss, only to press his forehead to hers, breathing harder than before. "You have no idea what you do to me," he said, voice rough but gentle. She smiled, a little breathless. "I have a guess," she whispered. He chuckled softly and kissed her again, shorter this time. They stayed like that for a while, kissing, talking in low voices, touching without crossing the line into anything explicit, just discovering the comfort of each other's bodies and the calm that came from being close. At one point, she rested her head on his chest. His hand moved in slow strokes along her arm. "How is your heart?" he asked quietly. "After today?" "Still beating," she said. "Stronger than I thought." "And your mind?" he asked. "Tired," she admitted, "but clear." "And your trust in me?" he asked, voice lower. She tilted her head up to look at him. "Growing," she said. "Every day." His eyes warmed. "Good," he said, "because I need your help." "With what?" she asked. He shifted slightly, reaching for his phone on the table. He opened a message and showed it to her. It was short. "We should talk. Neutral ground. Tomorrow night." Underneath, a name, Marcus. Her body tensed. "He wants a meeting," she said. "Yes," Pietro replied. "A sit-down. No weapons inside, neutral territory, witnesses." "Can you trust that?" she asked. "I can trust that he wants something," Pietro said, "and that he prefers deals to open war. The problem is what he might ask for." She swallowed. "What do you think he wants?" she asked. "Control," Pietro said simply. "Over me, over certain parts of the city. He wants me to stop interfering. If I don't, he will keep testing my limits." She understood without him saying it. Testing his limits meant testing hers too. "What are your options?" she asked. "I can refuse the meeting," he said. "But that makes things worse. Or I can go and set my own terms." She searched his face. "What do you want to do?" she asked. His eyes met hers. "I want to hear what you think," he said, "because this affects you now. I am not deciding this alone." No one had ever given her that kind of weight in a decision like this. It made her feel respected in a way she hadn't known she needed. She thought for a long moment, fingers playing lightly with the edge of his sleeve. "If you refuse to go," she said slowly, "he'll think you're afraid, or that you don't care what he does. That might make him more reckless." Pietro nodded once. "If you go," she continued, "you can look him in the eye and make your own lines clear. You can tell him what is off limits. You can show him you're not weak and you're not alone." He watched her carefully. "But if you go," she added, "you come back." His jaw softened. "I plan to," he said. "I'm serious," she said. "If you go, I need to know you are not agreeing to anything that puts you deeper into this life in a way you can't get out of. I need to know you are thinking about your future, not just winning a game." He stared at her, something like admiration growing in his eyes. "You are not just in my world," he said softly. "You're changing it." She held his gaze. "Go," she said, "but go smart. Go with a plan. Go knowing what you will not give up." He nodded slowly. "There is one thing I will not give up," he said. "What?" she asked. "You," he said simply. Her throat tightened. "You can't say that if saying no to him puts everyone here in more danger," she said gently. His eyes darkened. "There is always danger," he said. "With him, with others, with the life I lead. But there are lines I won't let him cross. You are one of them." Her heart beat faster. "Promise me something," she said. "Anything," he replied. "If you feel something is off," she said, "you walk away. You do not stay there to prove a point. Pride can wait. Your life cannot." He nodded. "I promise." She believed him. He pulled her closer, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. "Get some sleep," he said softly. "Tomorrow will be a long day." "Will you sleep?" she asked. "A little," he said. "Enough." She looked up at him, then made a choice she hadn't made before. "Stay with me," she said quietly. "Just for a while. Until I fall asleep." His eyes softened in a way that made her chest ache. "Of course," he said. They moved to the guest room she sometimes used when she stayed overnight. She changed into sleep clothes while he waited in the hallway, then let him in. He lay on top of the covers, fully dressed except for his shoes and jacket. She lay beside him, under the blanket, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her. There was nothing rushed or urgent, just warmth, breathing, the steady beat of his heart under her ear. "Is this okay?" he asked. "Yes," she murmured. "More than okay." His hand traced slow, soothing lines along her arm. "You're safe," he whispered. "Right here, right now, you're safe." Her body slowly relaxed against him. "Pietro?" she mumbled, already half asleep. "Yes?" "Come back to me tomorrow," she said. He pressed his lips to her hair. "I will," he said. "I promise." Sleep pulled her under. He stayed awake a little longer, watching her face, memorizing the calm there, before finally closing his eyes. The next day, he would walk into a room with a man who liked games and threats. The next day, he would decide how far he was willing to go to keep his world under control. And the next day, Lily would wait in a penthouse full of guards and cameras, holding on to a simple, heavy question. When Pietro sat across from Marcus and heard his terms, would love and protection be enough to keep both their worlds from breaking? Lily woke with her cheek resting against Pietro's chest. For one long, slow moment, she forgot about danger, photos, meetings, or Marcus. She only felt Pietro's warmth, the steady rise and fall of his breathing, and the quiet safety she had never known before him. When she shifted slightly, his arm tightened around her. "You're awake?" he murmured, voice still rough with sleep. She looked up. "Yes." His eyes opened slowly, focusing on her face with a softness she felt all the way down to her chest. "Good," he whispered. "I like waking up like this." She smiled. "Me too." He pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead before sitting up, letting the cool morning air break the warmth between them. "I have the meeting tonight," he said. "But until then, I'm here." Something in his voice was steadier than last night. Not reckless, not fearful, just determined. "What time?" Lily asked. 8, he said. "Neutral location. No weapons allowed." A small flutter of worry passed through her. "Will you be safe?" "I'll be safe," he said simply, "and I'm coming back to you." The certainty in his tone settled her nerves. "You should eat," she said, "and maybe try to rest before tonight." He brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "I rest better when you're here," he said. Her heart skipped. Before she could answer, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. He checked it, frowned, then showed her. It was a message from Ryan. "Everything is ready. We'll be close." Pietro nodded once, then placed the phone down. "Don't worry," he told her. "I'm prepared." "You promise you won't go alone?" she asked quietly. "I promise," he said. "Ryan and 2 others will be nearby. They won't enter the meeting, but they'll be close enough to hear anything if something goes wrong." "And you?" she asked. He leaned forward and kissed her gently. "I'll be smarter than I've ever been," he said, "because I have something to come home to now." Her chest warmed instantly. "Okay," she breathed. "Then I trust you." He exhaled with relief. "That means everything to me." The day moved slowly. Lily couldn't focus on polishing silverware or arranging the kitchen or folding laundry. Every time she passed a window, she wondered where he would sit, what Marcus would look like, what words would be exchanged. At lunchtime, Pietro found her in the kitchen, pretending the fruit bowl needed reorganizing for the 4th time. "Hey," he said softly. She turned to him, trying not to look nervous. "I finished my calls early," he said. "Do you want to take a walk? Just upstairs. Rooftop garden, quiet. No one else there." She nodded. He took her hand, not possessive, just gentle, and led her to the rooftop terrace. The air was cooler up there, the city smaller from such height. They walked slowly along the path lined with small potted trees, their fingers brushing occasionally, warm against the breeze. "Tell me what you're thinking," Pietro said. She looked up at him. "I'm thinking I don't want anything bad to happen to you tonight." He stopped walking. Gently he turned her to face him. Lily, he said quietly, I'm not walking into a trap. I'm walking into a conversation. Marcus doesn't want war either. War makes money disappear. He wants leverage, power. He wants me to bend. And will you? She asked. His jaw tightened. No, he said, but I will be calm. I will be firm. I will not give him what he wants, but I will show him he gains nothing by coming after you. Her heart raced. And what does he gain? Pietro's expression softened. He gains stability, he said. He gains predictability. He gains agreements on neutral lines. But he does not gain control over my life. Or over you. Lily exhaled slowly, letting his voice steady her. You're really thinking clearly, she said. Because of you, he admitted. You told me not to act with pride. You told me to think about the future. I heard you. He brushed a thumb across her cheek. I want a life with you, he said. Not a constant fight. Not endless danger. You gave me a reason to choose peace. I'm not wasting that. Her eyes warmed with emotion she didn't try to hide. He leaned down and kissed her forehead again, slow and tender. You'll be here when I get back? He asked. Yes, she whispered. Waiting for you. His chest lifted with a deep breath as if her answer gave him strength. Then I'll return faster, he said. The hours until the meeting crawled. At 5, Pietro changed into a black button-down, dark slacks, and a gray coat. Not formal, not flashy, neutral. At 6, Ryan arrived, went over details, routes, positions. Pietro listened calmly. At 7:30, Lily walked him to the private elevator. He turned to her just before stepping inside. You're safe here, he said. Guards on every exit. Cameras monitored. Ryan's team in the garage. She nodded. You'll be safe too, she said. Because you promised. He stepped closer. I don't break promises I make to you, he said. He touched her cheek, leaned in, and kissed her gently, slowly, as if memorizing her before he left. When he pulled back, he pressed his forehead to hers. I'm coming back, he whispered. This isn't a goodbye. It's just a meeting. She whispered back, Come home to me. He kissed her once more and stepped into the elevator. She watched the doors close. And then she waited. The minutes felt long. The hour felt longer. She paced the living room. She sat on the couch. She stood at the window. She made tea and didn't drink it. She checked her phone even though she had no messages. Rosa tried to distract her with stories from her childhood. One of the guards brought her a bottle of water and reassured her nothing unusual had been reported. But her heart didn't calm until she heard the elevator ding. She turned sharply. The doors opened. Pietro stepped out. Whole. Safe. Calm. Her breath rushed out of her body so fast she felt dizzy. He closed the distance between them in a dozen long strides. Before she could speak, he wrapped his arms around her and held her tight, his face pressed to her shoulder. I'm here, he murmured. I'm home. She hugged him back just as tightly, feeling his warmth, smelling the faint scent of cold night air on his coat. I was so scared, she whispered. His hold tightened. I know, I'm sorry. But I'm safe. We're both safe. She leaned back just enough to see his face. What happened? She asked. He cupped her cheeks gently. Marcus wanted influence, he said. I told him no. He wanted me to back off certain areas. I told him we negotiate through legal channels, not threats. And he listened? She asked. To most of it, he said. Enough to walk away without pushing for more. She frowned slightly. How did you convince him? Pietro's expression softened. I told him that if he wanted peace, he couldn't involve innocent people. I made it very clear that you were off limits, that touching you would be seen as touching me. Her breath caught. And? She whispered. And he agreed. Pietro said, he doesn't want a war. He just wants lines. I set them. He accepted. She let out a shaky breath. So, it's over? No, he said honestly. Not forever. But for now, yes. He won't touch you. He won't follow you. He won't send messages. Her body loosened, relief washing through her like warmth. And you? She asked softly. Are you okay? He smiled, a real slow smile. I'm better now, he said. Because you're here. He kissed her then. Not rushed, not worried. A real kiss. Deep, warm, steady, full of every emotion he had been holding inside all day. She melted into him, her hands sliding up to his face, his arms wrapping around her like he needed the closeness to breathe. When the kiss finally broke, he rested his forehead on hers. Lily, he whispered, I want a future with you. Her breath trembled. I want that too, she whispered back. His eyes softened even more. I don't want you to be my maid anymore, he said. She blinked. You're firing me? He laughed softly. No, I'm promoting you. She stared. To what? She asked. He took her hands in his. To the woman who shares my home, he said. My life, my mornings, my nights. She swallowed, emotion thick in her throat. Are you asking? She whispered. I'm asking, he said, if you want to move from the staff room upstairs to my room. A soft gasp escaped her. You want me to live with you? She asked. I want you beside me, he said quietly. Not as someone who works for me, as someone I love. Her heart flipped completely. She didn't hesitate. Yes, she whispered. I want that. His relief showed in his entire body. He kissed her again, slower, sweeter, as if sealing the promise between them. They stayed like that for a while, wrapped in each other, holding on to the calm after the storm. When they finally pulled apart, he took her hand. Come on, he said softly. Let's go upstairs. Why? She asked with a teasing smile. He lifted their linked hands. Because you're moving rooms tonight. Her cheeks warmed with joy. They walked together to the master suite, not with fear, not with uncertainty, but with the beautiful weight of a choice they both made. He opened the door for her. Welcome home, he said. She stepped inside, and for the first time, it truly felt like hers. They spent the night talking, laughing, lying together in the quiet glow of the bedroom lamp. He held her close, her head on his chest, his hand tracing soft lines along her arm. No rush, no pressure, just warmth and certainty. Before sleep claimed them, he whispered, You're my peace. She whispered back, You're my safe place. And they fell asleep holding each other, the city lights below blinking like distant stars. 2 weeks later, the danger had faded. The guards relaxed. Marcus stayed quiet. Lily and Pietro found a rhythm, kissing in the kitchen, sharing breakfasts, walking on the rooftop at night, planning real things, tender things, future things. One morning, Lily made coffee in her personalized mug. Pietro walked behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist, kissed her neck softly, and whispered, Tell me, do you regret saying yes? She turned in his arms, cupped his face, and answered with a smile that reached her eyes. Not for a single second. He kissed her, warm, slow, full of love, and the two of them stayed like that, wrapped in each other, the whole world outside finally quiet. Their love story, born from jealousy and danger, had become exactly what neither of them expected. Something soft, something steady, something real, and beautifully theirs. If you enjoy stories like this, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. That's how I'll know you truly liked it. Even if you're watching on your TV, grab a second to join this family of fans who love emotional and heartfelt stories. Your support means everything, and it helps us bring you even more tales like this one.